Now before I start this video, I just want to say a massive thank you for Dave Filoni, who's done two great animated shows, Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. They have really impacted the Star Wars franchise, which I love, and I cannot wait to see what else he has in store. Hey there guys, so Star Wars Rebels has officially finished with their last episode ending last week, and I loved the show. It was a great animated show, but also a great component to the Star Wars franchise, and I love Star Wars. Yes, it has its flaws, but it did some incredible things that made its own footprint in the Star Wars franchise. And I thought it was time to do my top 10 favourite Star Wars Rebels episodes as a way to say thank you to Star Wars Rebels. If you have your own top 10 list, please comment down below, but let's get started. At number 10 is the Season 2 premiere, Siege on Lothal. Now Series 2 really steps it up a notch, not just by adding Vader and characters from the Clone Wars series, but also has some great story arcs and some great character development. And Siege on Lothal does a great job of setting up the characters' motives, especially Ahsoka and Vader, and we also learn the team has to step up their game after their encounter with Vader, so they have to leave Lothal for a short while and help the rebellion. And Darth Vader was so good in this. Just because you beat an Inquisitor doesn't mean you got anything on me. At number 9 is the two-parter, The Lost Commanders and Relics of the Old Republic. I remember at Star Wars Celebration 3 years ago they showed the trailer for Series 2, and halfway through the trailer the screen went blank. And out of nowhere, my name is Rex. And the crowd went mental. I love the Clone Wars animated series, and Captain Rex is arguably my favourite character from that series, so I was so happy he returned. We get to learn what happened to Rex, Wolf and Gregor during the events of Order 66, and it also proves that clone troopers aren't all the same, they can make their own decisions. We get to see old versus new with the clone troopers AT-TE versus the Empire's AT-ATs, and we get to see clone troopers and Jedi work once again. And number 8 is A Fool's Hope. Now this isn't really emotionally weight compared to my other favourites, and most of the episode is just a battle, but it has action, it has thrills, it captures the epicness and the fun of Star Wars. There were times I was saying to myself, has Ryder really turned on his friends? And that counter-attack with the wolves was vicious, and it was great to see all these side characters from the previous seasons come together. And number 7 is the Season 2 finale, Twilight of the Apprentice. Now I know a lot of people put this high, but since Ahsoka doesn't die, spoilers, it kind of loses that emotional layer to me, but it's still a great episode. We get to see the death of the Inquisitors, the return of Darth Maul, Kanan gets blinded, a Sith temple, and the epic showdown between Ahsoka and Vader, which was filled with emotion, and the music was just perfect. And that part when Ahsoka finally knows the truth about Darth Vader by revealing a part of his face, and the voice from Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars series, was just beautiful. Twilight of the Apprentice set series very nicely. And number 6 is Twin Suns. This was the episodes that the fans anticipate for years. The final showdown between Maul and Kenobi. It doesn't matter how short the showdown was, it's still one of my favourite lightsaber battles in canon. And I love Darth Maul, he's one of my favourite characters in Star Wars, and to see him come full circle by dying in peace in Kenobi's arms was beautiful. And number 5 is my favourite character focus episode, Trials of the Darksaber. Basically the episode is about Sabine learning to wield a Darksaber, but it's fantastic. We get to see the training process of how to wield a lightsaber, Sabine confronting her past, and the duel towards the end where she releases her anger on Kanan really fleshes her complexity as a character. And number 4 is The Last Battle, and you may be surprised because this is just a filler episode. To me this was the love letter for the fans of the Clone Wars animated series. We get to see Rex dealing with his past from the Clone Wars, we get to see Captain Rex and General Kaladi accepting the logic of who actually won the Clone Wars and working together. I love the Clone Wars animators, and this was a great throwback to me, and the way the episode ends with the Clone Wars style logo and the complete music was the cherry on top. At number 3 is the series finale, A Family Reunion and Farewell. Now I do have a couple issues, like Kanan and Hera have a kid, and the way the Space Whales break into the Star Destroyer and make a jump to hyperspace, wouldn't Ezra and Thrawn be exposed to no oxygen? Apart from that, this was the perfect ending to the show, and it was a great setup for the next animated series. For a long time we all thought it was going to lead up to Rogue One, but Rebels does its own thing. It started on Lothal with the Empire's control, and it all comes together full circle because Ezra is strong enough to take Lothal back from the Empire, and we get to see all these characters come together. And it didn't go to the obvious route by killing off characters. Dave Filoni really caught us on guard. And I love the idea of seeing all these characters after the events of Return of the Jedi, and I did get a bit teary at the end because it was hard to say goodbye to this great show. And number 2 is A World Between Worlds. Now, Dave Filoni did something that I thought I'd never see in Star Wars, and even though I did, I thought it would have been a horrible idea, but it was executed beautifully, and that was time travel. Kind of, time portals, but it makes perfect sense because this relates to the Gods and Mortis art from Clone Wars. At one point I was pressing the speaker to my ear because I can hear these voices, whether it's from the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, the sequel trilogy, Rogue One, Clone Wars and Rebels. And the way they brought back Ahsoka makes perfect sense. It lines up beautifully. And that's why I love Dave Filoni's work, because he planned things ahead. We also get to see Ezra of understanding of letting go and saying goodbye to Kanan. We get to see Emperor Palpatine, which was pretty cool. A World Between Worlds goes to show that a 20-minute episode can really expand on the Star Wars universe compared to a movie. At number 1, my favourite episode of Star Wars Rebels is Jedi Knight. The perfect send-off to Kanan Jarrus, my favourite Star Wars Rebels character. Now, from the start, from Series 1, we all knew that Kanan Jarrus wants to distance himself from the Force and forget about the Jedi stuff, till Ezra came along and he slowly comes with the Force. And in Series 2, he becomes a Jedi Knight. But unfortunately, at the end of Series 2, he gets blinded. During Series 3, he regains his confidence back, and also he uses the Force to guide him. The way that Kanan died was just perfect. The episode starts with the crew going to save Hera just before Kanan cuts his hair and shaves, and he looks a lot more younger, but it does mean something. He knew this mission was going to be his last. It was his destiny to save his friends so they can proceed on the next mission of taking the Thor back from the Empire. And he also cancelled the TIE Defender project that Grand Admiral Thrawn was very keen on. But Kanan died the Jedi he wanted to be. Caleb doomed the Jedi he once was before Order 66. And the way the episode was set up was well done, especially with Drunken Hera. And how the episode ends with the screen going white and the Ashes style logo was so good. Also, the music by Kevin Kiner, who's done the music for Clone Wars as well, was so compelling. I think he should do a Star Wars film because he's that good and he should do much more. That is it, guys. That is my top 10 list done. I just want to say thank you and goodbye to Star Wars Rebels that I've been watching for the last 4 years. It's been a great show. If you're a fan of Star Wars, I highly recommend you go and watch Star Wars Rebels or Star Wars The Clone Wars. But that is it, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Go check out my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram page. Till then, may the Force be with you.